The ego is appearing while interacting with other persons, so it seems. There is this body with experiences and habits. That's okay, so as long as there's no attachment, isn't it? Yeah, so the ego. So you all can see very clearly Lisa's ego. That's how Ramesh Balsekar used to call it, is the ego, like your habits and your karma. And it's partly genetic and it's partly socially conditioned. And you can see, like, I've got particular habits and ways of being. Obviously I come across as very artistic and creative and imaginative. So that would be a description of the Lisa Cairns character. Incredibly funny. Doesn't mind passing air through the throat, the voice box publicly. Yeah, I like to enjoy to do faces. Like that's like the ego, the character. And there has to be some form of attachment to it. I remember reading in a book one time from some guru, or that guru with an Indian name, and said if you didn't, the body would die. So gurus always retain particular attachments to things. So one guru, he particularly enjoyed food. But there has to be some form of attachment to the body, otherwise, you know, consciousness can't look through everything. In order for this reality to appear, there has to be a looking through one particular instrument, and so there has to be some sort of glue there. Otherwise, like, consciousness just floats off and starts looking through the tree or the bird, which did happen to me one time when I wasn't on any psychedelic drugs. I was looking at a cat and suddenly I was a cat looking back at me, which was quite trippy. These are called awakening experiences. You know, and it's seeing that awareness doesn't belong to the person. But so it has to stay with one body, and the body has a character. So Lisa has thoughts and urges, and she feels like she does in the Lisa world, but there is a separation that happens, and then it's like this other thing comes through. It's like an energetic shift, and then there's this other reality that's remembered of who you are. So the character exists and is beautiful in its own right, and it's not meant to disappear. And you know, and that could happen to a sociopath. Why not? And a sociopath is somebody, I think, I always get confused between psychopath and sociopath, but I think sociopath means that it's biological. It's an area in the brain which isn't working. They don't have empathy. And it's not that empathy is a precursor to awakening, which is what people like to think, but mostly because of our addiction to the idea of good and bad. And also this idea of the eternal parent. You know, a lot of people are still craving the eternal parent, the all-loving, all-giving parent. You know, so the idea that a psychopath feels unfair and unjust, and they have to be good. They have to be good boys. I've been a bloody good boy, and then they're not going to be a good boy, and they get enlightenment. How is that fair? They have to be good, because being good is a sacrifice. Because I want to be bad too. I want to say to people, stop talking, you're talking too much, and I can't take any more of your talking. But instead I listen and I'm like, Yeah. And my character does do that, by the way. It's really trying to recondition this. I'm really working hard to recondition of not listening too much when there isn't a general interest in it. You know, you listen, you know, as a bit as being social, but also putting up your boundaries. I am trying that as well, but I don't begrudge the other person. I completely know it's a dynamic and conditioning from Lisa that she learned in childhood, that you have to listen to other people's blah blah all times at every single cost. Because if you don't, the other person is going to implode, and then, you know, you'll have their insides all over you, and that's not a good look. So, you know, I'm trying to recondition that, and that is a character thing. That is a character thing. And there's ways to recondition it that are so profound. Like there's loads of different ways that you can use to recondition it. The imagination of the person is that I will come out ever free of these 9 dynamics. What happens is there'll be a lack of attachment to them, so they would just be a motion playing out. Another thing is that people get into this and they hope that if I lose all my wants and my desires and all my personality, then I can be overly giving to the other person. You know, I can overrun my boundaries and make the other person happy. And that's not it either. It's beyond the human. What is experiencing now? And these things change. I feel like when you get into this subject, it tends to come with a personality that is open to going beyond itself, that's open to going beyond its ideas and perceptions and dogmas, that's interested in looking outside the box. But the beautiful thing about this life, the magical thing, is that anything is possible. So you could also have somebody that is really narrow-minded that gets into this. You could have a Frank Spencer if you're English. Oh no, he's not narrow-minded. Oh, he's so sweet, Frank Spencer. Oh, Betty. Oh, you could have, who's someone that's really narrow-minded? Norman from accounting. No, that's a bit unfair on the name. Norman. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a TV character that's, you know, that narrow-mindedness. Why not? Why not? It's not personal. Consciousness is in everything now. It's free. No matter what personality type you have, the good, the bad, or ugly, consciousness, everybody's consciousness is free. It's the birthright of everything. It's the birthright of everything. The dinosaur, the dragon, the insect, the person, the annoying person, the free person, the lovely person, the angry person. It's in all of that. Yeah, thanks Lisa for your question. Hi Rolandito. It's an energetic shift from feeling inside the body to being limitless, but the person remains. It's like you now are not only limited to the person. Yeah, nice. You could say the character, you know, so you get some teachers that say it's the end of me, which is, in the beginning I used to teach more like that. But then I began to find my own way of speaking about it. But it's like the end of the attachment, you know, so those teachers that say there's no me, they'll still say there's a character. But there's no me as in like, who is looking now? It's just vastness, it's emptiness. Who? There is no person experiencing. Why do you have one eye Illuminati symbol in your profile picture? Alfie, I'm hugging my dog. It's not a one eye Illuminati picture. It's just because half my dog head's in the picture too. People love conspiracy. Your talks, that is. Greetings and love to all. If you awaken when it's origin, it took me 10 years to learn it's none other than the divine will. I had a near-death experience as a young child and it brought me to non-duality. They're beautiful, Amanda. Yeah, these often can bring you to non-duality. I can use my remote mouse. Awakening is the collapse of the outer and inner identification, and it takes no time because it's here already. Beautiful, Yusuf.